Do y'all remember when I reported to you that Pam Bondi was pushing internally behind the scenes for an ATF director that had a strong law enforcement background? Yep. Yeah, well, we figured out who that is. Meet Dan O'Kelly. Now, here's the thing. My initial reaction to reading this dude's background was full nope. Full nope. Because former ATF agent, nope. Lots of cop, nope. Nope. We got enough cops of the ATF. Right? I said ATF, and he starts freaking out, man. It's like he's got an aversion to him or something like that. Like, I don't know what to say other than he's an excellent judge of character. However, I have done some more digging, and I've acquainted myself a little bit more with Dan O'Kelly and some of the things that he has done. And I would say that he kind of splits it right down the middle for me in that he's also an NSSF member. He is a firearms instructor, and he's also an expert witness, and he has been party, as far as an expert witness is concerned, on both sides. So he has testified for the ATF and against the ATF. So there's a little bit of stuff to unpack here, and that's kind of what I wanted to do in today's video. But I also really just wanted to be a sounding board for you guys, because here's the thing. I want Brandon Herrera to be director of the ATF. However, I recognize that Brandon is not going to get confirmed. Now, perhaps Dan O'Kelly could get in there and he could say, hey, I want Brandon Herrera to be my deputy director. That is a position that is not confirmed by the Senate. That is just somebody that can be installed. So we're going to hear a quick word from today's sponsor, and then we're going to walk through this a little bit. And I want to know, honestly, what you guys think. I'm not preaching to you guys. I'm just going to front load you and say that I don't know about this one. This video was brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. They are my go-to stop for all things medical. It doesn't matter whether you need something that just holds a bunch of Band-Aids and maybe some aspirin or something like that, or if you need an actual trauma kit. If you don't have a trauma kit in your house or in your vehicle, then I highly suggest that you go check our people out at Medical Gear Outfitters, and they offer all of you a discount. You can find all of that information over at the affiliates page and all the relevant places, and use that to great effect.
Yeah, and I just looked at him and he said, I can't tell you that. And I said, why? It's not classified. Just tell us so we won't break the law. He goes, that's above my pay grade. I can't tell you that. So my point is, why in the world does ATF have secrets that the gun industry can't know? That the public, the gun public, can't be told, for God's sake?
He couldn't tell you because he doesn't know.
Well, not only that, because
right?
That way they can't change it every other day to their whim too. You know, that would be one of the first things I would do. From now on, we're going to publish this. Everything we know, the public is going to know. Nothing in here is classified. This isn't the CIA.
What is the old joke? If I tell you, I got to kill you. I mean, that's not the case with this stuff, right?
No, it's a case of if I tell you, then I can't throw you in jail for something you didn't know.
That was Dan O'Kelly speaking with the host of Gun Guy TV. I'll have the full interview linked down in the description box down below so you guys can go watch the thing. I haven't made it all the way through all of the interviews of him online. So what I would like to do is kind of go through all of the content that I can find online to kind of get a gauge of this guy. But right now I have some thoughts, and I guess what I would say is, again, my initial gut reaction is way too much law enforcement. And if you look at his certifications that are listed online, they're all law enforcement. To me, that screams red flags. Just because somebody carries a gun every day does not mean that they get guns. Now, it does seem to me like this guy does get guns. Like, he seems like he is a gun guy. However, there's this kind of culture when you spend too much time in law enforcement that follows you everywhere. It's like if you've ever taken a training course from somebody who was like an SF guy for like way too long. Their processes bleed over into everything that they do, where they can't really see the validity of what they're talking about or not. So they'll be teaching you to do like this, like 5-man building clearing crap in a training course. And the reality situation is you might have you and your wife, you know, that's it, right? Maybe your dog. And if the ATF's there, they're going to shoot that anyway. So hey, sorry. It'll be okay. Spending that much time doing that way detaches them from the rest of the world when it comes to where you and I live. And that goes for military folks too. So that is one cautionary thing that I would say. Now, he is on record saying some pretty awesome stuff. One of the things that I really like is that he says that there is not a single part on an AR-15 that classifies as a regulatable part. So if you look at like what a frame or receiver is, for instance, that whole thing they tried to redefine a couple years ago, if you look at the definition of a frame or receiver, there is not a part on an AR-15 that classifies as that. It doesn't exist. We've arbitrarily called the lower receiver the regulated part because that's what the ATF decided to do. There is no real receiver on an AR-15 because it doesn't house the barrel and the fire control components all at once. It doesn't do that. So it isn't technically a receiver. And I like that side of things. Now, on the flip side of stuff, there's another statement that he made that says that he knows how to fix the ATF. And the problem that I have with that is the ATF doesn't need fixed. It needs gutted with a spoon. Not fixed. It needs to be wrecked from the inside. And one of the things that he has said as it pertains to fixing the ATF is that they require more training. And training is not the word that I would use. I would use re-education. So I guess what I'm getting at here is that Dan and the administration fundamentally does not understand what we want. We want this organization to be reformed in a way that it can never do what it did for the last 4 years ever again. And that is going to need collaboration with Congress. We understand that. But there are many things that the right administrator could do inside of the organization that could help that along. And I understand that the current administration is very focused on the border and they plan to reallocate assets from the ATF to handle that crisis, and that's cool. But when that pet project of theirs ends, my fear is that they're going to hand an enhanced ATF to the next administration. And that administration may or may not be friendly to us. And that is not a good look. That is not a good plan. So I guess what I would say is, just to be very specific, what I want to hear from Mr. O'Kelly is, sir, are you going to go in there and are you going to destroy all of the out of business records that you guys have at the ATF? Like, are you going to take all the containers around the country and just have a big old bonfire? You're going to do that? Yes or no? And are you going to destroy all the computer systems that have the digitized registry of all 4473s that have ever been turned in? If the answer to those two questions are yes, well, we're moving in the right direction, right? And I could probably get behind that. So there are just things that I have not seen yet that would be like, all right, maybe this is the right guy for the job. And I suppose in closing today, to muddy the waters a little bit more for you, in a good way, I suppose, is that Dan O'Kelly was fielded as someone who was going to testify as a firearms technical expert in the Irving Hoover case. And the ATF actually said, even though he was a firearms technical expert and somebody who had testified for them previously, that he was unfit to testify in that particular case, probably because he was going to go in there and say, well, yeah, this thing that the ATF is doing is bullcrap. I don't know currently. I don't have enough information. And I would love if Mr. O'Kelly would come and sit down for an interview. I would absolutely drop my shit to have him on and we could talk about some of these things, because I think that there are a lot of people out there that deserve answers. I want to know specifically what his plans are going forward. And if he is named to that position and is confirmed, is he going to be a friend of ours, or is he going to be kind of sitting on the fence? Which, depending on your perspective, could be an improvement. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. And hopefully we'll see you on another one here pretty soon.